maybe you guys can help us come up with some solutions. Right now, I want to introduce Jermaine Jasper. He's from the DPS. He's going to give his story on how he did, and how he overcame several obstacles. And he also has a young man, and I'm going to let Jermaine introduce him, and he has a story that he needs to tell. And this is one of the reasons why we have to stop the violence in the city of Dallas. We have to stop the violence in the city of Dallas, you know, with children that's sitting next to you, so they don't get harmed. We need to stop the violence in the city of Dallas and trying to make Dallas a safer place to be. And that's what the Chief Hall, the Dallas Police Department, the community, the mayor, and everyone is trying to stop what's going on in the city of Dallas. So without further ado, DPS Trooper Jermaine Jasper.
Can y'all hear me? I can't hear you. Okay, outstanding. So, didn't know I was speaking first, but we'll take care of that. Today's initiative is about enough is enough. Everyone that speaks to you is going to speak to you about enough is enough moment. I'm sure we've all had those in our lives where we hit at some point in our life we say, we can't do it like this anymore, right? At that point, we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision, either we're going to respond with our ability to become responsible, or we're going to complain, cry, and settle. Before we get moving, I'd like to introduce Dedrick Abrams. He's going to tell you a little bit of his story. He's going to tell how we met, and then we'll continue the conversation from there. Right?
How y'all doing? My name is Dedrick Abrams. My story is, I got shot about 3 times due to gun violence. Once in the leg, twice in the hip. Got screws in my hip, and bullets still indulged in my hip. It all started about one day. I was thinking about doing some ill-intentioned activity to someone, struggling, trying to make money and things like that. Then the next day, I guess everything backfired on me. They brought me inside the house. 4 guys drew guns down on me, kidnapped me, basically had me hostage for about 10 hours, threw me inside of a car, tied me up. Drove me down to South Dallas, threw me outside and shot me, and left me outside basically for dead. And then Trooper found me. Blessed to be alive and everything like that. I mean, I'm strong enough to survive the situation, and God and Trooper helped me out. And I'm saying, I mean, I just want to, I don't know. If anybody feel like they in a situation where they need money or struggling or anything like that, just pick up the phone, talk to someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk to a mother, talk to a father, talk to your friend, talk to anybody that's gonna give you some good advice. Don't talk to anybody or hang with anybody that's gonna bring you down or encourage you to do something negative. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot to live for out here. I got 2 kids. I got a little boy, 5-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying? They would have grew up. If anything would have happened to me, I would have died. They would have grew up without a father. And there's a lot of kids out here that don't got fathers. So, I mean, just think about your decisions before you make them.
Piggybacking on that story, it was I and another trooper that found him that day. When we found him, he was bleeding out over there off of Bud Street, over under the bridge over there by Bonton. Now, I'll tell you, I went to Lincoln High School. I'm from South Dallas. Grew up in the Grove in South Dallas. So, I'm a product of the Grove in South Dallas. Many of the struggles that he's gone through, I went through as well. Right? The TED Talk that I gave, I speak to my humble beginnings as far as my father being addicted to drugs, being in dope houses because my father was there and growing past that, right? But we all have enough is enough moments. This brother here, he was shot 6 times, last time in the head. Now, what I would say is I assisted in the process of saving his life, but his life was saved, 1, because of God, Second, because of his will and his desire to be alive, right? He pushed. What he did was, when I saw him that night, and I'm putting a tourniquet on his leg, getting him wrapped up, he said, I saw a 7-Eleven in the distance, and I just figured if I continue to crawl, I could get there. Man, that 7-Eleven was over 10 miles away. Right? But that speaks to the idea that when you have a vision in your mind, it don't matter how far it is away, you can go get it. You can go get it. It's one of the things that I had to do. Right? One of my enough moments, because young people, you're going to have several of them, hundreds of them. The idea is, what are you going to do once they come to pass? Myself, one of my moments, I've been with the Department of Public Safety over 19 years. Within that time period, I've been on fugitive teams, I've been an investigator, fraud investigator, I've been in the Texas Ranger Special Ops Division, I've done a plethora of things. 19 years ago when I started, unbeknownst to me, I was dyslexic. I found out that last year, finding out my son was dyslexic in the process. So, I'm turning in these reports, and they come back like, with all kind of colors on them, pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing them back. I don't figure out, man, why? What's going on? I know I'm intelligent. I know I'm smart. What's the deal? I had people in the chain of command say, well, you know, he got a football scholarship. Yeah, he got a degree, but you know, he's a job. So, it kept on going like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. One of my enough moments said, you know what, I'm going to figure this thing out. Again, I didn't know anything. I just knew that the words were there. If I would read it, and it would make sense, and I read it again, it didn't make sense. I had to fix it. So what I did was, I went and enrolled myself to an MBA program. All right. I enrolled myself to an MBA program. So for the next year and a half, I wrote 4 to 5 graduate level papers a week for a year and a half straight until I figured it out. So as a product of that, I just recently published a book called Warrior Mindset. Going from not being able to consistently put in reports to writing a book came from an enough is enough moment. And what I would say is, in your life, there are going to be several moments like that, where you have to make a decision to, 1, to respond and be responsible, meaning respond with your ability, or 2, to cower, complain, and talk about the problem. Today, as we move forward, Veda Loca is going to moderate the discussion. We would say that any concern that you bring, we would talk about. However, the only preface is this. When you come with a concern, come with an idea for a solution. So that we can speak about solutions rather than problems.
That's right.
Thank you for your time.
Tyler and I've been assisting with organizing the event. We want to just take the time and thank everybody for coming. We're now going to turn it over to Ms. Veda Loca. We're really excited that she took the time out of her day to come and MC this event because she has her own story and she's going to be sharing. We have some amazing speakers who are going to be speaking to you guys. Again, we thank you guys so much. As a community, we really need to come together more often like this and talk about solutions. Today's conversations are solution-based. We want for everyone to be a part of the solution and no longer be part of the problem. Thank you again, Veda Loca. And everybody put your hands
Thank you, ladies. Okay, first I just want to say, y'all, put some smiles on your faces. All right, we're here. We know enough is enough, but we are here in fellowship today. We are all a part of each other today. Today we are all from the same community today. No matter where you're from, we're all from Dallas today, or Fort Worth, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I want the young men and the young women in the room, meet some of these police officers in here.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to walk up to a police officer and ask him what his name is. How did he get into the business? What made him want to be a police officer? We need to talk to them. We need to cut back that stigma that it's them against us. Because really it's all of us trying to work for one solution, right? Or a bunch of solutions, how many it takes. When I said smile, I meant smile, man. You gotta smile too, Debo. Okay, thank you. I got one. I'm be going through the room looking for smiles. Everybody got a that smile in here, you know. You got a reason to smile. Think about it, and let's do that, all right? And I want to thank them for allowing me to be here and be a part of this. And I wanted to just say, you know, we have to stop pointing fingers and start reaching out our hands and helping each other find the solutions, all right? So make sure you're not sitting there looking like you constipated, sir. Smiling? Okay. And we've got a motivational speaker coming up. His name is Dean Ween. Dean Ween, where you at? Right there? Oh, right here, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dean. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Doing good. Okay, that was a good response. I wasn't expecting that. Are we tired of losing family to gun violence? Are we tired of hearing about kids suffering from child abuse in the neighborhood? Are we tired of hearing about all the gang violence? Are we tired of the domestic violence? And I think y'all said it right there. The answer to that is yes. Yes, we're tired. Yes, you're tired. We all tired. So that's why we came together here on this Saturday morning. Because enough is enough. This is a great crowd. This is a great crowd. But I say all that to say, my name is Dean Ween. I'm from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I grew up on the east side of town. Well, a lot of my kids, well, me being the kid, well, a lot of kids didn't have hope. Because of things that they see in their environment, in the household, on a day-to-day basis. Right? I don't want the parents in the room to feel bad either. It's just, you know, let's talk. Let's talk it out. Right? But I was a victim of domestic violence in the home. I was a victim of seeing family members die in drug abuse. I was a victim of gun violence. I participated in gang violence. I'm a victim of my dad going to jail for 10 years. But I'm a victim of violence. And we all are. But just because we're victims of violence doesn't mean we have to continue to promote violence, to egg on violence, to be violent. Right? Because I, Dean Ween, made a choice a long time ago. I made a choice a long time ago that no matter my environment, no matter my family situation, no matter that I was going to push through. Because we all have choices. But also with those choices, I hear the community come up with excuses. We want something from someone else. But we don't want to give up nothing. Nothing. Give me, give me, give me. And if I was one of these elected officials that's surrounding this room today, you know what I would tell you all? What are you going to give us? What are you going to give us? Because I'll give it to you. But I also want it to be returned. What does that remind you of? It's a 4-letter word. Love. Love. Can't you can love me too? Love you too. But don't forget that you can love. Because growing up in inner city Oklahoma, I was taught to be violent. My mama told me they hit you, you hit them back. Right? Hit them back. But she didn't teach me the proper ways of how to hit back. Knowledge, character, respect. That's what we need to get back in the community. Respect your neighbor. Respect your neighbor. That's all we have to do. Because I didn't come here today to tell you how to stop violence. That's not what I came here to do. I just came here to tell you that you don't have to be violent. You don't have to be violent. Right? So I want to share a story with you all. Because even though I say all of that, you know, with the conditions that I grew up in, everybody around me was going to jail and dying. But I wanted to live. And that's what I feel like I'm doing here today. But I want to take you to a time when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. I was very active in sports. Straight A student. Gang affiliated. But I used to stay up late on certain nights. My 2 sisters would go to bed, my mom would go to bed, but I would stay up late. Because it would be a prison movie or a prison show that I was intrigued by. I was intrigued by it. Right? So I stayed up. And I used to watch that. I used to watch those shows. But do you know what I did when I was watching those shows? I was crying. I was crying. I know you all would say, young man, why was you crying? You're just watching a show. But that show was a representation of my life. Dad locked up. All my uncles is locked up. Only male figure I had in the home was my mom. Did y'all hear what I said? The only male figure I had in the home was my mom. Right? But I used to cry. Because at a young age, I was realizing something. That my current situation may not was favorable. By no means. But when I watched those prison shows, I used to pray to God that I would never get locked up. But even when I prayed, I didn't believe. Because I said, for one, everybody around me has been locked up. What makes you so special? What makes you so special, Dean Wayne, that you won't get locked up too? So I knew, well, I thought, that no matter what I did, good or bad, that something was going to happen and I'll be in handcuffs. But I stand before you all today to tell you this. Never been locked up a day in my life. So I would say to the youth, because I still feel that I'm very youthful, that just because your environment is not favorable, become favorable. Become favorable. Because you, young man, is important. I'm gonna do this. Can I take these two rows back here? Can y'all join me up here, please? Please. And let me know how much time I have, because sometimes I get into it.
You better let them use you, Dean.
Okay? Sometimes I get into it. They told me I had 15 top 20.
Yeah, top 20. You better come on.
All right, come on, come on. Come on.
Come on.
Look at these fine gentlemen. Appreciate you, gentlemen. I wanted these gentlemen up here to join me is because, and I would have had ladies join me too, but I can relate to these young men. And hopefully y'all can relate to me. No matter what I've said up here, I'm not blind to the peer pressure in the streets. I'm not blind to the peer pressure in the home. I'm not blind to it. But I would encourage you to be tough, to be strong, and to believe. Because your family, believe it or not, is counting on you. It's counting on you. It's counting on you. That goes the same for this community. We're counting on you. All right? Top to bottom. Elders, mid-elders, mid-age. You know, I know some people don't like to talk about age, but all ages. We can't put a stop to the violence if we don't commit ourselves to non-violence. But young men, as I will tell you gentlemen this, and when I say this, I'm gonna follow my speech up with a quote. But as long as you put in the right effort, the right focus, the right belief, do enough good to outweigh the bad. Because you're gonna mess up. Right? It's like we all mess up. Do we all mess up? That's grown folk talking to you. All right? But do this for me. Every day, I want you to think great, be greater, and strive for greatness. Let me follow you over this quote here. And I found this quote on Instagram. Who know Instagram?
I'm on it right now.
All of them on Instagram?
I'm on it.
I'm on Instagram.
You on it? Yeah.
I'm on Instagram, and so y'all can follow me too. It's Dean Wing Speaking. DeanWeakin.com, YouTube. Follow me because I want to follow you. But let me do this for us. Found this on Instagram. Y'all be on Instagram? It was one of them little memes. It was one of them little memes. So let me do this for you. He said with it. I didn't grow up having role models. I grew up having people I didn't want to be like, and seeing situations I never want to be in. Not all of us are dealt the right cards, but that doesn't mean you can't reshuffle your deck. for a better outcome. So I stand up here in front of these people, with these young men, to say this. Enough is, enough is, enough is, enough is, enough is, stop thief, stop thief, stop thief. Think great, be greater, strive for greatness. My name is Dean Wing. Follow me on all platforms.
Up next, we have a phenomenal sergeant. I mean, his energy is so infectious, and I want all the youth in here to make sure that they meet Sergeant Quigg today. All right, you look for Sergeant Quigg. Make sure you shake his hand. Make sure you look that man in the eye, because he is here for you. He is here for us. And he's got this initiative. Hold on. I'm gonna let you come up, Queen. Hold on. So he takes police officers to barbershops. It's called Getting Faded with 12. Getting Faded with 12. That is, I love it. It's phenomenal. I'm like, so you know, I have a morning show, and I also am on a television show in the morning, CW33. We come on in the morning. And so we're gonna follow Quigg, and we're gonna go out there and follow these police officers and get in the community and watch them getting faded with 12. I think it's amazing. So please, put your hands together again for Sergeant Quigg, Dallas Police Gang Unit!
Thank you for the warm introduction. As you know, I'm not a part of Faded with 12 getting haircuts because I'm losing most of my hair. So that doesn't apply with me. But I want to give a shout out. It's Tony Edmond from Southeast Patrol who actually came up with the concept. Because we're trying to... We're actually trying to get real conversations with people. And where are the people at to get that real conversations? In the community, in the barbershop. So that's where we're going. So I just want to shout that out. But before, I don't want to be remiss, okay? We got some dignitaries in the room amongst us today. Starting with Adam Magoo, City Councilman. We also have the DA prosecutor, Tommy Adams, he's in the back. We have the great Judge Birmingham. He's a big advocate in the community as well. And then I have my bosses, Major Williams and Major Younger. And last but not least, we have Bill and Minnie Carew in the back. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. Oh my goodness gracious, I didn't even recognize him. He looked like a kid down there. But I don't want to butcher your name, sir. But this is the city councilman in South Dallas. He looked like one of the youngsters sitting out here. But anyway, with that, I want to introduce you.
And I'm in District 14.
Oh, District 14. Hey. I'm bad.
And I look young too.
Yes, you do. Okay. With that, I want to introduce to you. I used to say young man, but he's not a young man anymore, as you can see when he comes up here. But back in the day, he and I hasn't always been the best of friends. I used to chase him around in Fraser Courts, trying to talk to him, to try to get him out of the gangs, do this and do that, but he wouldn't listen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him tell you his story and his life and the obstacles that he went through. Without further ado, Lamont Levels.
First, y'all give Officer Quigg a round of applause. He didn't say it before I said it, but me and him has always been the best of friends. But it started off a long time ago with me and him, and he gave me an opportunity to come speak at a boot camp, and we've been in and out of schools for 18 years, voluntarily, free, going, trying to change and educate young kids' minds about gang awareness and gang violence. And we thank every last one of y'all for being a part of this. We really do, from the bottom of our hearts. So we want to just give a round of applause for everybody being here. As I stand before y'all today, we all know why we're here. The violence that has rippled our city in the last months has been shameful and senseless. Very shameful and senseless. The countless murders that Dallas has encountered has been very alarming. We done got to a time where a young man can't even get off of work and go cash his check at the check cashing place without getting killed. We done come to a time where young 13-year-olds walking from the store getting gunned down. We at a time where women can't even go to the car wash and wash their cars without getting killed. But the saddest one of all, we at a time where a 9-year-old little girl is sitting in her apartment and she loses her life. When I heard about that, my heart sunk. Because I have a daughter that lives in those complexes, and she has a little daughter. And when it happened to her, my mind just began to think, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? And as I sat back and I think, and my mind used to reflect, it took me back to when I was a kid. It took me back, way back. And I was a smart kid. I was a good kid. Believe it or not, in the beginning, I was a good kid. See, I wasn't born buckwheat. I became buckwheat. And as I was a good kid, my mom was a good parent. She was a single mother, raising 6 kids. We had the biggest house. I used to get $25 allowance at the age of 8 or 9. I could say I had it made. But then she met a man, and I say this, people, because our young women, our women today, we put our trust in men. She met a man that turned her to crack cocaine. And I remember, it was like yesterday, it felt like we lost everything overnight. Now we're living in this diverse and harsh environment, coming up as a kid. Remind you, I was a smart kid, I cried to go to school. But now I'm in this harsh environment, and my mom trying to raise me. So what I do at the age of 9, 10, I started throwing newspapers for the Dallas Morning News. And I was supporting my mom's drug habit. And that's important. I supported her drug habit because a lot of young kids today, they have mamas that are addicted to drugs. They have fathers that are incarcerated. And my mom, she was trying her best, so I would give her the money. I would hide it in a TV magazine because she wouldn't take it from me the first time. So I would put it in there, she would read her magazine, it fall out, and she would go support her habit. Well, what it do? It caused her to feel embarrassed and ashamed that her 19-year-old son was to help supply her drug addiction. So she wanted to kick it. In order to kick it, she went back to California. When she went back to California, I went to foster care, me and my brother. And that's where my life began. Because now, my dad wasn't there, but now my mom isn't there. Now I have no parent. Now I find myself out there looking for someone or something to connect with. And I turned to the streets. And that's when I became buckwheat. Now I found myself living for other people. They're directing my life and my past. And I didn't even know if they had my best interests in mind. I didn't know. And that's what our kids go through today. They don't know. They don't know their direction. It's up to us as parents. It's up to us as adults to guide them and lead them in the right direction. Some of y'all might not like the things that I might say, but we try to blame and point the fingers. Well, I'm telling everybody we need to start with ourselves as adults. We got to recognize that some of these kids have parents that are not raising them right, while some don't even raise them at all. We got kids wandering around every day doing nothing with their lives. We got to educate our kids. Back in the days, I loved to go to school. I hear kids today that they don't want to go to school. I remember when I used to love to go to school just for the pizza and burritos. But most of all, I used to love to go to school because you know why? You couldn't lay up in mom's house, not go to school. Because you know, you'll find yourself being the next maid or butler. Mom them go, hey boy, go come get the remote. The remote right there, mama. But she gonna work to the deal. She's gonna clean up. Now we find parents allowing their kids to sit at home with them. Yep. Just because I ain't got no job, I ain't got to tell my kid to go out there and get a job. No. See, the word is accountable. We gotta hold ourselves accountable. A lot of people not holding themselves accountable. We gotta change our mind frames. We gotta change the way we act and the way we think. We gotta quit pointing the finger at him, the police department, the government, and everybody else. We got the ability to power in everything to make our city and our neighborhoods be as comfortable as we want them to be. But we gotta change our mind frame. It starts with us. Like I said, with these parents. Back in school, when I used to see kids, well, when we used to walk the streets, and a parent or adult would see us walking the street, we were supposed to be in school, they would grab us, put us in the car, and take us back to school. Now, we have adults that just turn their head and don't even care. See, we got to go back to our old days. When we see these young kids out there rebelling and acting up, we got to be that good neighbor. We're going to take them, whoop their butt. Take them to mama. Let mama whoop their butt. And then what mama do? Mama get on that phone and call daddy while he at work. Now daddy say, boy, when I get home, you got another butt whooping coming. We got to get back to those days. Where have we went wrong? Our minds thinking. We got to support our kids. Invest in them. We got to invest in them. You know what saddens me, bothers me? When I see, and I'm going to say I see because I see more now than I ever seen in my life. I see clearer than a lot of people in this building see today. When I say I see, we got to change our mind frames. When I see young women walking through our neighborhoods, $2,500 designer bags with a food stamp card. We got to change our mind frame. Young kids over here dying over $150 shoes. $150 shoes. Jordans. You'll buy a kid a pair of Jordans before you go fill your icebox up. You rather go to the club or be attention and be the attention seeker and your bills ain't even paid. See, I said, I ain't trying to dip in nobody's Kool-Aid today. And I ain't trying to point no fingers. I'm just trying to set some standards starting with myself. See, we got to change the way we act. We let our kids know too much. We let our kids do too much. I remember in times back in the days when mom and dad and them be in there talking, we couldn't be in the room. Now you have parents today sitting holding conversations and they talking about their best friends. Then when the best friend come over there, the kid is mugging the best friend. Now the friend is wondering why the kid mugging and mom go upside the kid head. Now the kid looking at mom because the kids feel like mom done turned trade on them. When you sat there and allowed your kid to listen to that, and the kid was trying to help you. We can't allow our kids to be subject to a lot of things that we do and say and act in life, people. Starting with me, it's a lot of things that I gotta go change. I think I give my kids too much limit. Before I came, I ran through all them Facebook pages and let me make sure they clear and clean. Ain't no more putting up negative things. See, we gotta start with that. Social media is driving our kids crazy. All these crazy challenges that people are sickening and need to stop. We got our young women degrading themselves on social media with cucumbers and all of those things need to stop. Where did we go wrong? It starts at our home. That's right. It starts with us. What we feed into our kids is what we're going to get up out of. I have a good saying. I love to say this. People don't always remember what you say, but a person gonna always remember how you make them feel. Let me say that again. People don't always remember what you say. So what I'm saying is, a person can tell you they love you right now, but they won't remember it tomorrow. But if you make a person feel like you love them, they're going to feel it for eternity. So we got to make these kids feel like they want it. We got to make these kids feel like they support it. We got to make these kids feel like they love, because that's where it starts from. We got to support all these young people that are trying to be productive, trying to be successful. We have to support them. We got to stop beating them down. It bothers me because I see so many young kids living in abandoned houses and apartments right here in our communities. And there's so many adults will walk right past them. That's where we need to change our mind frames. We find ourselves searching so hard for answers that are right in front of us. We really do. I'm here to tell you that today, myself, everyone in this room, we're the answers to all the problems that we face today. It starts with us. We're the answer to those problems. They say it takes a village to raise a kid. Every individual in here is a part of this village we call Dallas, Texas. Every last one of y'all. So it's going to take more than the mayor. It's going to take more than the chief. It's going to take more than Sergeant Quigg and myself and all these organizations. It's going to take everybody in here to be a part of this. This is a good saying that I always say. Don't be so quick to turn the block out when you see something going on. Because if I'm blind and I can see it, I know y'all see it. Come on. I know if I'm blind and can see it, I know y'all can see it. And I want to say this before I close, because I didn't come here to stand before y'all all day. I just came like to say system standards, starting with myself. I hear a lot of people say that they're tired of the troopers being around here. Let me tell you this story right quick. When them troopers before them troopers came out, y'all, I used to stand on my porch. And when I stand on my porch, and y'all need to try sometime, just go stand on your porch and close your eyes. I stood on my porch and I closed my eyes, and I was standing on the porch, and I could hear a group of guys in the distance over here. I hear a group of commotion in the distance over here. I hear gunshots ringing out from South Dallas. I hear police sirens all over the city. I hear helicopters up in the air. But guess what? When them troopers came, I walked on my porch, I could hear crickets squeaking. I could hear birds chirping. I could hear snow sounding. I don't know about y'all. Y'all be mad about the troopers, but I'm glad they are here. I am. Because you know what? If any person is stupid enough to ride around with a gun or something illegal, while all those troopers out there, they deserve to be a loose state. They deserve it. We gotta hold ourselves accountable. See, if you tired of the troopers, and a lot of people say they hate the police because of all the shootings that happen over the country, I'm all right with that. I don't knock how you feel. But the way to keep the troopers and the police out of our communities, we gotta police our communities ourselves. And you know what? How we doing that? We do it by getting a grip of these young kids. We do it by getting a grip of these young kids. We do it by teaching our young people that it's more to life than being in a game or being around. Whew. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of my people waking up in the morning, going to a tree, sitting up under a tree, smoking their life away, drinking their life away, and then ready to go to sleep and get back up the next morning and do the same thing again. I'm tired of that. We gotta do better. Let me tell you this. If I could get up every morning and I could dress myself. Yes. If I could get up every morning and I could make the best of life, I pay every bill in my house. And I'm saying this because my women in here, y'all have the power. You have the power to push a man to be whatever he wants to be in life. See, I tell my young people when I go speak to them, young women, you don't want no man that's gonna be out there gang banging or dealing drugs and all that, get caught up, and now you pregnant, you got a baby, then he get killed or he got on to loose stepping, and now you gotta raise a child on your own. So my women, remember I said a man changed my mom's life. We had it good, but a man. See, my wife, she pushes me. That's good. And I pay every bill in my house. If I could do it, then what's wrong with these other men around here, y'all? So what you gotta do is, you gotta find that right person. And I'm saying it because there's a lot of single young women out there that's looking for a man to fill that void. And somebody's like, but you gotta find that right man to put in these kids' life. Don't find these men that are rolling around on these big rims and jumping out with the big chains on and all that, because they're not good for those kids. See, it starts with yourself. That's why I cut my hair. That's why I took the goals out of my mouth and everything. It starts with me. I gotta be an example. It starts with everybody in here. So all I want to say is, I love y'all, I thank y'all, and let's hold all ourselves accountable.
For 10 years. My son was raised by a drug addict for 10 years of his life. Now, I wasn't, you know, out on the street, broke or anything like that, but I was using drugs every day. I know for, you know, maybe not every day, every other day. You know, I was a cocaine head. And I was a gang member when I was in high school. I didn't know. My mama gave me the gauze. She was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with her. I got kicked out of public high school because I was rolling 20s. My man was a Crip, so I was a Crip. So I go to school with my khakis on and my white t-shirt and whatnot. And I'm just saying this to say, youth, we gonna make mistakes, okay? You gonna make a mistake. You definitely are. You gonna make a bad decision in your life. And it's not about the decision to be bad, it's the decision to get out of it. That's the decision that you really got to concentrate on, because we are all going to make bad choices in our life. And that's what our parents need to tell this to our children more. My son came to rehab to see me because I was tired of hiding. The reason I was on drugs so long, because I was hiding everything. I was sneaking in the bathroom, sneaking around the corner, sneaking here and sneaking there, instead of just being upfront with what was going on with my life. So I'm here to say 10 years, you know, after, you know, 10 years in the drugs, I'm 3 years clean. But back to the choices and the mistakes we made, I would have never picked another life for myself. I would have never picked another life. I was supposed to be that addict because I'm supposed to be here. The Lord knew what he was doing when he gave me that cocaine. He knew what he was doing. He knew I had a voice. He knew I had a message. He knew I know how to talk to the youth. He knew I know how to own up to my mistakes. He knows I know how to talk about my life. When I talk to my son now at the house, I say, you don't want to be like your mama, do you? I know you want to be like your mama because you're on the radio now, but don't do what I did. You don't have to go through 10 years of being addicted to a drug, because you saw what it did to your mama. You saw where it had to take your mama to rehab. You saw your mother struggling. You know, he saw everything. And we have to talk to our children like that. We have to be very, very, very transparent to our children. Tell your child about that mistake you made in 1982. Tell your child about you had to go to the doctors, it was gonorrhea. I told my son that too. Hey, I'm keeping it real. In high school, I was like, look, I got it in high school, you can get it too. All right? Thank God I got one that I could get rid of. All right? But we have to be very transparent to our children. Because see, they get all their information from Instagram and social media, and they very transparent. You know what I'm saying? They get on there and tell all the business on there. So we gotta start, and I'm not saying trying to be your child's friend. I'm not saying, be your, hey, what's up, dealing my, but I sit my child down and I tell him what I feel like he needs to hear, and he needs to get it from home. And so I'm just putting out a cry to our parents out here. When we're coming up with solutions, we got to start looking for solutions at home too. Solutions at home too. Because I'm thankful for all these elected officials that came out here today, all the police officers. What up, DJ Rios? Gang unit in the house. And I'm happy that we're all here in this situation, and we have questions, and we want answers, but we also got to look at ourselves too when we get home and make sure that we're being as transparent as we are with our children, so when they get out here in these streets, they can feel a little something different. You know what I'm saying? My mama went through it too. My mom talked about it. My mom made it through. Instead of pretending like it don't happen, because it does happen. So, I talk to my son about drugs all the time, because these kids are doing drugs in middle school. They smoking weed and bringing edibles to middle school. You have to talk to your kids about drugs, not about don't do drugs. You got to tell them about when you did drugs. You got to tell them about what drugs did to you, if you ever tried it. How did it make you feel? What did it do to you? What do you know about it? Instead of just saying no, let's get more transparent with our children and let them know how it felt to us, all right? That's what I just have to say. Now I have a friend, her name is Miss Shirley Carter. Miss Shirley called up to the radio station one day and tried to get me fired. Well, not really, but she cussed. I said, Miss Shirley, don't cuss. Miss Shirley was like, yeah. I was like, okay. But the reason Miss Shirley called up, because we have a segment on the show called Look at Me Now. I created this segment because here I am, a former drug addict, and I'm one of the only women of 2 in the country to have her own morning show. Me and Dee Dee McGuire from K104 are the only 2 African American women in the country to have their own morning show. Not sitting next to a man, laughing and giggling at his jokes. No, it is the Dee Dee in the morning and the Veda in the morning show. So I came up with this segment that's called Look at Me Now. Look at Me Now. So people call up, they talk about where they were, and then they talk about the glow up. Where you at right now? While we got up, look at you now. Hey, look at you now. Hey. And that's how I met. Oh, wait a minute. If I'm boasting myself, I gotta say this too. Not only am I owning my own morning show, I'm on television too. Yes. So don't ever believe that what you're going through right now, you can't get through and make it to a point where you had no idea you was gonna be. I had no idea I was gonna be on television, a major network, from 6 to 8 in the morning. I didn't know that, God knew that, but I had to go through what I went through in order to get where I am. So don't be afraid, my fellas back there, my youth back here, my youth here, my youth over here. Don't be afraid to go through what you're going through. But no, you gotta get out of it if it ain't right. You got to get out of it if it ain't right. And you might not happen overnight. The struggle is real, but you gotta put the work in, and it will happen, because I'm a living testimony right here. I put the work in, all right? So, needless to say, I met Miss Shirley on Look at Me Now, all right? And she had a very touching story, and she just wants to talk to, our youth in here and tell her story, because it was a very, very heartwarming.
Hi, my name is Shirley Carter, and I also have an Enough is Enough story. Right here is my only son. His name is Philip Dion Taylor. He's known by Buddha Mac. And here's my son-in-law. His name is Bronche Johnson, and he's known by Chief. They were murdered January the 30th, 2017. Shot my baby 8 times in the back of the head. Shot my son-in-law 18 times on Park Lane, which now North Dallas is known as North Afghanistan. But, I just want to say this. My son was a very known drug dealer. But see, my son didn't pick to be a drug dealer. My son had a mom that wasn't doing what she supposed to do as a mom because she was an addict. So, me as an addict for 25 years, I couldn't tell my son that, hey, you can't do this, you know, you can't do that, which I did. I ran up in dope houses, and I done sent the police to get him up out of there because I told him he wasn't going to sell your dope for you. He was not going to make you rich, you know. And then at the age of 15, he got locked up. They sent him to youth village. He stayed for a year. Now, when he got out of youth village, he had got his GED, passed it on the first try. I think that's what hurt my kid. I was great because he was a smart young man. South Oak Cliff used to say he came to school on test days and he made their school look good. Because even though he missed 30 days out the month, but when he come back to test, his grades were that good. So when he got his GED, there was no more choice to call me and say he's skipping. There was no more police that can pick him up. See, I had that savior when the police could pick him up and take him to juvenile. I had that savior when they could pick him up and take it. But once he got that GED, he became his own man, and it wasn't no more police couldn't do nothing. He was a high school graduate. So what did that leave time for him to do? To magnify and enhance his craft. And that's how he became known as Buddha Mac, and he's very known. Now I got to go see Buddha Mac at the grave. I buried him in a red and blue casket to show these young people. I especially ordered a red casket to show these people what red and blue do. Red and blue, this is what red and blue do. It have your mama looking like me every day, crying, because she got to go to Lincoln Memorial to see her kid. So I want to tell these children, if you got an addict of a parent at home, talk to a teacher, talk to some individual that you can call, talk to your preacher, somebody, so you don't have to let that grown OG give you that set and pay you $100 a week and say, sell my dope while you make me rich. No, talk to somebody so they can find you somewhere to go. There's resources, there's places, there's people that really care, that will help you get out of that situation, that'll help you find somewhere so you can live another day. Live another day. And I just want to also say this, I know there's a lot of politicians in the house and we're going to hear a lot of political promises today. But what I want to say is, I'm not against guns. I'm just against guns in the wrong neighborhoods and in the wrong hands. You know, and I'm not going to stand up here and say we need to ban guns. But we do need stricter gun laws, stricter gun laws, even if it's just simple background checks for everyone. And I just want to say thank y'all for letting me share.
I love you too. I love you too. And Jeremiah Shepherd, and he goes by the voice of the youth. Did you do the thank you last, Jeremiah? Yeah. I really look old up here, I know I do, but that's the only song I can figure that wasn't no cussing in it, and everybody would know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I tried it. If my son was here, he probably would have ran out the door. She's embarrassing. All right, Jeremiah, please, one more time, put your hands together for Jeremiah Shepherd, the voice of the youth.
How's everything going today, everybody? So my main message is toward strictly the youth. And the reason my message is toward the youth is because y'all are the future. And the reason I'm saying this is simply because I was where a lot of y'all are at right now. You know what I'm saying? Lost, confused, didn't know what I wanted to do. I was looking for everybody else's opinion. That don't matter. I'm gonna tell y'all, it's straight like that. Nobody else's opinions matter. If you put in your mind that you can do something, you can do it. It don't matter if your best friend say, oh man, you can't do this, or no, girl, don't worry. If you put in your mind that you want to do something, you can do it. A lot of us, well, me, I know personally, I was misled. I was involved in the streets, I was involved in the gangs, that was me. Y'all might look at me, y'all. I'm young. I literally just turned 21, and the stuff that I went through my juvenile, it's still following me and in my dog. It ain't, once you get involved in the system, you's in the system. There's no other way around it. So, one thing I want the youth to learn how to do that they don't teach you at schools is be able to think. If you can think, you can do anything. And always understand, for every cause, there is an effect. So if you feel like you frustrated at your teacher because she gave you this on the paper, don't go cuss her out because she did it. Go figure out how can you improve on it. And figure out how you can improve and get better with whatever you feel like you're lacking. Anything y'all can do, anything y'all put y'all mind to, y'all can do. And with me, y'all look at me like, man, I went through a lot. I went through a lot. 13 through 16 in the juvenile system, consistently. And what changed me was having some type of mentor talk to me. Somebody who actually cared. Because a lot of these people might tell you something, but they really don't care. Me, I really care. I didn't go to sleep till 4 this morning. I woke right back up at 8:45 just because somebody invited me here and said, we need you to talk to the youth. I did it. So find somebody that y'all can talk to, and that's gonna be the person who can make a difference in y'all life. Can I get a round of applause from the youth, from the youth? Strictly from the youth. Anything y'all put y'all mind to, y'all can do it. Social media is cool, but start looking up stuff like how to work on personal development. That's what I had to learn. How to control myself. How to control the way I think, because I understand and I know that if you just think about negative is going to come. If you think about good is going to come. It's going to come. One thing I know is something called the law of attraction. Everybody that's in this room right now, y'all are in a certain position because of what you thought about. Off of what you thought about. So when I was going in and out of the juvenile system, I was just listening to what my friends were, oh, he thinks this about me, he thinks this about me. But I had to correct myself and find out that only thing that matters is the way that I think. It don't matter how he feels about my shoes or how he feels about this or that. It doesn't matter. So, like I say, learn how to think, work on y'all self. If y'all going through something, find somebody y'all can talk to. Don't feel uncomfortable and, man, I don't know what to talk. Find somebody that you can talk to and let it out.
Good morning. My name is Brandon Dye. I've been a police officer for about 5 years now. I was a police explorer for 6 years prior to joining the Dallas Police Department at the age of 19. I graduated from the great James Madison High School back in 2013. Where's Trooper Gaspard at? I heard him say he went to Lincoln. You know what today is, right? The South Dallas Super Bowl.
That's right. Go Trojans!
Get ready. I grew up in East Dallas, Lego and Metropolitan to be exact. In a little over 4 years, I've had the privilege to be on 2 specialized units, the crime reduction team and the gang unit. Because of hard work, dedication, and being humble, I'm a product of East Dallas. The name of this event is Enough is Enough. I believe everyone in this building can agree that we have surpassed the definition of enough when it comes to violent crime in our city. I know some areas are rough, has high crime, and more negative peer pressure than good. However, the majority of people who live in South Dallas and Oak Cliff worked for everything they have, raised great families, and they deserve to live in a safe neighborhood where they don't have to worry about being robbed, shot, or their homes being burglarized. I believe regardless of the hand that is dealt to someone, everyone knows the difference between right and wrong. I know that because my mom has ingrained that into me. No, I said my mom ingrained that into me.
Because I don't see, and I could be wrong, but when school is out, these churches need to be open to give these children a place to go, except going home and sitting at home. Give them that foundation, because that's where we got our foundation. That's where we got our foundation. What we running from, we have to run back to, and that is in the church, and give our kids some foundation. What has been taken out of schools, it's got to come back. They don't need the first time they see somebody, they see you, the judge. And you pleading in your heart, hey, I'm trying to be as lenient as possible. Before you have to just put a sanction on them that locks them up forever. Or the police officers here, when we see them, you the one that they see they got to put the handcuffs on. And then they think you done wrong. We gotta stop it. Our kids gotta see it. We got to start. When you leave out of here today, everybody, I charge you, stop and talk to somebody young today and ask them, what is it that you need from us? She can only do so much. I listened to her in the morning. I'm glad I got a chance to meet you in person because I thought something totally different about you. But you have a heart for people. You really do. That's why you have to be transparent. That's why I gotta be transparent. I teach kids every day that have no hope. I'm not in no public school. I'm in a charter school with kids who don't have a hope, looking for a hope. I become their mama. But we gotta get it back.
Amen. Come on, y'all, let's give her a hand.